Hello and welcome to Big Time Super Friends, and welcome to our Star Wars Rogue One movie spoilers review. I'm your host, Marcus, and the Force is strong within me.
I'm D, and I put the Force in him.
I'm Toby. I'm not a Force wielder.
I'm Leo, and I rebel.
But now, guys, before we get started, I am going to be giving an early pre-Christmas gift to my fellow castmates here. It's not their official Christmas gift, but it's something that I thought was pretty funny, and I wanted to give them. So, first thing is first, D's gift
Christmas
is
Merry Christmas.
Macho Man socks.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to put them on my feet. Damn. That's funny.
The next one in line is
got the
Toby
glasses.
right next to me. And he has The Rock socks. I'll let you get a gander at these puppies.
With his Versace shirt.
Bam.
I know.
Dang.
It's kind of a pun, too, because it's like the rock and sock connection. You know what I mean? Thank you, brother. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Leo, I think you know. The Ultimate Warrior socks.
Warrior Nation.
Every time I think of the Ultimate Warrior and Leo, is I think of
And our other guest that is typically here but isn't here, stuck at work, Brian. This is for you, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Brett the Hitman
yeah.
Heart socks. You'll get them once you see this podcast. Carry it over.
By the mail.
And of course, I mean, I got myself a gift. Who do you guys think I got myself?
I'm going
Ric
to say
Flair.
Bret Hart, dude.
Bret-
Bret
Hart's right
Michaels.
there.
Bret Michaels.
Brett Michaels,
you
the singer?
You get yourself.
The lead
Ric
singer? Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
I'm all over the place.
He was cute too.
Hey, look, this is Brett Michaels, all right, right?
You? What's your guess?
Okay, it's Ric Flair.
Well, that's a pretty
Boy?
good guess.
I would have said Ric Flair, too. Yeah.
Gold Dust.
No.
Jerry
I'm the
the
$1 million
the $1
man.
million man.
Everybody's got a
Ted
price.
DiBiase. Everybody
got a
has a price. Boom!
Big time.
All right. With
Super
that shit out of the
fans.
way, now let's get started. We're going to go over the positives, the negatives, what we liked about this episode, what we didn't like about it, and then our final rating score. With that said, your first impressions overall. Leo, what are your first impressions?
As I was watching the scenes on Jeddah, where the Imperial platoon, the stormtroopers, are going through the alley with that tank, it kind of reminded me of Black Hawk Down with the caravan. So it had that sort of like Black Hawk Down feel for me in the streets. I just loved the look of the movie.
Didn't some of the people from Black Hawk Down actually...
and Protect Private Ryan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They were in there?
For the
Yeah.
military feel.
Okay, nice.
Just visually, the way it looked, everything looked like it was real. There was no like shininess like the prequels.
Sure.
So it looked really looked legit. It didn't
Or
take me out of the movie.
overtly like
CG.
fantasy,
Yeah.
sci-fi
like
type
when,
deal.
When the Death
Which
Star's
is-
coming up over Jeddah, and that looked legit.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, that would be so scary to see that over the horizon.
And,
You're like, what is that?
And like over the city, you saw like a Star Destroyer.
Oh, yeah.
You know, which looked kind of, you know, we're used to seeing Star Destroyers in space for the most part, but we never got, well, not to my knowledge, see it in contrast with an actual
City or
size of the
something.
city.
Yeah, on a
And
planet.
those are just gigantic.
Yeah, it's huge. Cast a shadow over the city.
Yeah.
Now, who was your favorite kind of standout character?
God. Honestly, Cassian Andor was cool. I like that he was he seemed like a double agent almost, right? When he shoots the guy in the back, the informant, the initial informant, and he just
I'm
escapes.
with you on that. I'm with you on that. He was my. Well, you know what? No, the droid
K2SO.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
K2SO.
K2SO, yeah.
That to me was the star aside from the main star.
Yeah.
That to me was like the more memorable character. Yeah, for sure. He's definitely I like him way better than 3CPO and R2D2.
Yeah.
And even BB-8.
I
He's
like him better
my
too,
favorite
yeah.
droid so far that we've seen. What about your impressions, D?
I agree with you on as far as the droid goes. He had a little bit of a. I'm a big droid fan. I love R2D2. He's my all-time favorite droid. But I love K2. He had like the sassiness of C3PO, but with the attitude of R2D2, but with more of a like he could speak more eloquent and more like C3PO.
He
but with
seemed
that
more
attitude.
human to me,
did.
more
Yeah.
like a sarcastic human to me than the others. They're more kind of robotic, mechanical, calculating, logical. This guy had some sass to him.
Right.
Like he's just kind of he just had some sass to him.
And greater intelligence.
Yeah.
Did he? Does he?
To me, yeah.
I thought so.
love when he hacked into the other
Yeah.
executioner droid. When he hacked into the other executioner droid, and he just had the link in the back of the skull.
And they told him
It
like, you
looked
know what
pretty-
you have to do.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do that shit.
Yeah.
Now for me, the thing that
Schematics.
was a big standout was the third act. Now, I have to say, I was talking to Leo earlier, and to me, that is the single greatest airplane space battle I've ever seen on the
Really?
movie screen. Yeah.
Mine was Poe Dameron still. Like just
But that was
Yeah, that
technically
was
it wasn't in
close.
space. It was on Starkiller Base.
Yeah,
So
but this one like was on
pretty awesome.
on
Yeah.
the streets, in space, in the air. I mean, they were all over the joint, and the maneuverability going in and out of the that one scene where they called it the Hammerhead Corvette or something like that.
pushes the destroyer into the
Literally
other one.
pushes one destroyer into the other. I thought that was pretty brilliant,
Yeah,
and
the
it
guys are
looked
like, brace
good.
yourself.
And but you know what? There was a split second in that whole scene that I'm like, can that little fucking ship move that entire fucking?
I mean,
Star
it was
Destroyer?
just it's Newton's law of motion, right?
Yeah, true.
That's why it just had enough momentum to.
I'm not a scientist.
Study
I don't
show.
know. I don't know if you're talking shit right now. I don't know enough to call you on.
I
that.
mean, they've done it in like
Star Wars science.
like pirate movies, like with the Pirates of the Caribbean, where they use a ship to
push another
push
vessel.
another
Yeah.
vessel.
Right.
So like
Yeah,
it
money
makes
for
sense,
that.
like
Yeah.
in that aspect, I guess. You know.
Now I will tell you guys this: if you guys are expecting a Darth Vader-esque heavy movie, you're not going to get that here
At all.
He probably shows up maybe 5 minutes
yeah.
I would have
of total runtime.
It's like the zest on top of a pie.
Yeah.
Just-
Really?
yeah, it's
I don't
just
know.
sprinkled.
I felt like his performance was a little like it's the typical Vader. It's like, oh, I'm intimidating with my presence. But literally, he could have stopped them if he could have stopped the codes for. Or,
Here's the
you
thing:
know,
they underestimated the rebels.
yeah.
They were underestimated, and that's why they got caught off guard.
But I just felt like if he tried a little bit more, he could have gotten. Like he was a little too focused on the intimidation factor
Well, I
of
don't
it.
think he.
Well,
I don't know,
we know
didn't
he
calculate for
couldn't
it,
have
yeah.
gotten him because he didn't in New Hope.
Right, we know he didn't get
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying he could have if he really wanted to.
I don't know. I think he really wanted to. I don't think Vader's the type to be like, I'm just playing this time around. I'll get you next time. The one thing that I thought was pretty awesome. By the way, spoiler alerts. I mean, I've said this in the beginning of the show, but everyone dies. You know, as
expected.
you would expect.
Right.
You know, everyone does die. But the thing is one of the most memorable scenes I remember is talking about Vader. This is the best Vader I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like hands down.
Right.
As far as like his combat ability being displayed,
Yeah.
it was pretty good. I mean, what do you guys think?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I think Donnie Yu. I think he needs to take some lessons from Donnie Yu.
Donnie Yen?
Donnie Yen.
Damn.
Sorry. Faded.
Well, I just
Donnie
like 'cause I think my favorite scene with Darth Vader is when he was Anakin, and he had just been christened,
Mhm.
and he goes into the temple. They don't show you, but he goes into the Jedi temple and slaughters the younglings.
They don't show you that either, though.
Right, but then he goes into Mustafar and kills the entire council, and that's just like he's throwing bots, he's slicing dudes, and the
It's
last
kinda
guy
like
he's
an
"Oh,
homage
Vader,
to it."
Please don't kill me. And he
But
just.
but he's not in his iconic uniform. He's
But
not
I still
Vader.
But this was the best one.
Yeah.
This was
Well,
like
as far as like You're talking Rogue
Yeah,
One
the
was the
last
best one?
10 minutes, 5 minutes of the movie where he just
Even when he
corridor.
like appeared when
the
he was
corridor?
he just went like that. You know what I mean? And he was just choking the guy. You know what I mean? And,
on well, I think it's
Yeah.
Mustafar.
Yeah,
Where
when he's-
Krennic visits him. His
Yeah,
castle
yeah.
there.
And,
But yeah, he's like, don't choke on your own ambition.
yeah.
yeah. Although he technically didn't have to even do that.
No,
he
he
could have just
didn't.
done it with his mind.
It's just
Yeah.
a
You know what I
visual
mean?
representation.
It's just- yeah.
If I was Vader,
I mean,
I'd
he
have
does it in
cheesy
New Hope.
lines. I'd be like, choke on this.
That was a horrible Vader impression. Sorry. Now the other, speaking of Donnie Yu over there, he was my Donnie Yen. He was my favorite.
Mario Squirter.
Is he a Jedi? He had
Here's
Jedi-like
what I thought.
ability.
When the whole temple went down and basically they Order 66 was executed, I imagine there was people that were training that didn't finish their training with their masters. So I'm guessing that it's just a guess, he was one of those guys that had trained but never built his saber, and he was blind. So he was force sensitive. Maybe I thought he was actually going to move the lever with his hand using the force until he actually was
went out
guided
there.
by the force.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to use just like a blind.
See, here's the thing, though,
A shot of
is
dark.
he's able to sense when she had the Chiron crystal,
Kyber crystal, yeah.
Kyber crystal, yeah.
Kyber crystal
Yeah.
on around her neck,
From like a block away.
and I'm just like, okay, this guy's definitely has the force ability.
Right. You
At
can
least
feel
the
the Kyber
senses
crystal,
go. I thought for sure they were going to give him like telekinesis or
Yeah,
something.
right,
You know,
right.
is that what it's called? Telekinesis?
Yeah, where
Tele-
you
Yeah,
move
where they
objects,
move
yeah.
objects. Yeah.
I thought for sure he was going to use that, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't, because it made his death walking up to his to the master switch
Right.
even more satisfying.
Meaningful.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah,
more
like going down,
meaningful.
like walking the plank, sort
And I
of.
want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
When he was referring to his buddy that he's always with him,
Baze, I think.
Baze. Did he actually refer to him as a Jedi Knight?
No, he called himself a guardian of the ways or something like that, which is supposed to be like old like Jedi books.
I thought
Something like that.
wasn't like a guardian a type
holy
of Jedi?
scriptures.
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. Because there's
well,
Knight, Guardian,
there's like Guardian,
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Yeah,
and then there's like the I don't know.
Please
the fourth
correct
one.
us if we're wrong on this.
exactly.
No, I know that because I played.
But,
Knights
like-
of the Old Republic,
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's
oh
what you
man,
have to
this
learn.
guy was he a Jedi and just like lost his
I think
way?
he was just a guardian, man.
Interesting. But he Donnie Yen's it would have been. I'm kind of glad that they never met, but I'm just thinking, kind of retrospectively now, if Donnie Yen would have fought Vader, that would have been a pretty cool fight scene. I mean, it wouldn't have been ideal, but it would have just been nice to see an actual lightsaber fight
I don't
with
think
him.
he would have made it, man.
He wouldn't.
Nah.
He would have
It
been-
would have
would've
been like
needed
it
him.
would
would've
have been
just
like
lifted
a
him up and
sacrifice,
slammed
like
him
he's
down.
sacrificing himself.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think he could. I think Vader would have a challenge against his skills. He just looks like he's trained, bro.
I don't think he would have even
Nah. I mean, Vader's the.
done anything to Vader
Vader's overrated.
with that stick.
This is like Mike Tyson in his prime, Vader,
Right,
right?
right.
So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he's like
Oh, yeah.
not.
He's knocking fools out.
Yeah,
You know.
he's Ronda Rousing them.
Right.
Vader ain't
You know,
nothing to
left
fuck
and
with.
Now, as far as what do you guys think of the main character, the
Jin?
Yeah,
Jen, I liked her. But you know who really actually kind of stood out for me? Mads Mikkelsen's character.
Oh, yeah.
I felt
He's
like
really
he was
good.
really good, man. I was
Wow.
like, man,
His death was pretty good too. I like
Yeah.
that scene.
it was very
Satisfying.
That whole
yeah.
that whole scene where they go to that planet to see him, visit him, liberate him, was good. With the attack, the X-wing attack.
my favorite Mad Mikkelsen scene in that whole movie was when he wasn't really in the scene, but his hologram was when he was
Oh,
talking,
yeah.
kind of relaying some messages to his daughter,
Jin, yeah.
and she started just crying because
Right.
he was saying, calling her Stardust and
Yeah.
Listen, man,
telling her how much he missed me,
her
how much
acting
missed
was
her.
on point, man.
Really, really good.
It's one of the most natural performances I've ever seen. At no point was like, okay, she's trying hard. I almost felt like Diego Luna was trying hard a few times. I
Oh,
could
yeah.
see it,
Yeah.
and it kind of threw me out of the movie for a second. But when she would start talking, it was like, I'm right back in. That's Jyn Erso talking,
Yeah.
which I love.
I never got that from Luna, but
You
His
know what it
accent
was?
was
It's
throwing me
where
off.
it's where he was on the ship and he was telling her that like some of us had to do things to like
Oh,
survive.
I see.
That scene was sort of weird for
Yeah.
me. That was about it. and like the pep talk that he gives her before they leave the base to go to Scarif.
I don't remember.
Before that motivational speech, he's like, "I believe you.
Yeah.
We're with you." Like the whole scene was kind of like, I don't know, okay, and then the rest of it was believable to me. But yeah,
The
performance was on point.
what do you guys think of the Tarkin character?
I loved it.
Tarkin is the guy. It didn't dawn on me when I was watching him on the screen that they had digitally
Yeah,
made him look younger, and
Just
it
a little
looked
bit, yeah.
really good.
Right.
It didn't even come to mind like, oh, he should be this old. Why is he? It was that good looking that it didn't pop into my mind.
I was actually speaking to a buddy about it the other day, and I was like, man, CGI is definitely getting to like
getting up
scary
there.
realism to where like we were talking about that character, and toward the end when we actually see Princess Leia, and like man,
Another
like
example.
it was even better than Tarkin CGI.
She had a bobblehead.
and I'm like, oh my god, it looks too damn
if
real.
you go back to Tron
And, like-
Legacy, when the Jeff Bridges character in the intro of the movie, even Clue, that was a digital face.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of that, and it looked a little rough. It looked a little shiny. Tarkin was almost on point. Certain moments, his eyes and his mouth.
Yeah,
But
was-
the funny thing about this is
voices.
I'm also going to bring up another example, and that's in what was it Civil War, where they show Tony Stark as young,
yeah.
but all these three movies are Disney. So
Right.
look who's doing it.
You can see
like
the
Disney
progression.
is
You
like
see the progression.
on
It's like,
point
Tony
with.
Stark was the least impressive though. It
Yeah.
didn't.
Do you
look,
really think so?
It-
I thought it was. I
yeah,
thought it was
looked shaky,
impressive.
bro.
It didn't look.
I liked
great.
it. I thought it looked good.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so too.
It was
It
pretty
looked- it looked
believable.
like a bobblehead.
Plus,
Compared
remember,
to these
he was
guys.
using his memory, so that was almost completely digitally a digital image, basically. It was just that the parents were the real actors.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I forgive that, and I can actually just enjoy the scene.
In about
I forgive you
5
too.
more years,
my
this
God.
technology is going to be so good.
They
They're
might be-
going to make Vin Diesel look buff again.
He's gonna be back on his diet again.
No, I had to just squeeze one in. At least one. Just, you know what I mean?
That jab in there.
Especially since he's a bad guy now.
Douche.
Yeah.
The-
Don't get me started, bro.
Bet you Vin Diesel's like, these motherfuckers are good. Fuck this.
On Christmas, they don't even quit on Christmas.
Big time my ass. He's probably like looking at the mirror like he's like, you're gonna get buff again. They're gonna like
He
you.
calls his agent into the dressing room, and he's like, "Hey, bro, do I look fat?" Oh, no, Vin Diesel, you look good.
Good, bro.
He's supposed to tell you look good, you fat fuck.
Now, think back to the. I like the interaction with Tarkin, and oh my god, I'm missing his name. He's the guy that was getting choked.
Krennic.
Krennic. The conflict between him and
yeah.
Tarkin
Was really
right?
good,
It
yeah.
was really good. It was like Tarkin is like a little fucking snake in the grass. He's
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
take credit
For the kill.
Yeah,
For the kill, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm going to take control of.
But here's the
Death
thing
Star.
about that is he is like the left-hand man of the Emperor, as Vader is the right hand of the Emperor. So it's that Trinity. It's Tarkin, Vader,
The
and
unholy
the Emperor.
Trinity.
Unholy Trinity, yeah. So when Krennic's like, hey man, I worked hard for this, he's like, oh well, Emperor doesn't give a shit. Thanks. I'm gonna take command of this Death Star now. And he goes to Vader for like some backup. Like, yo man, you gotta back me up. This guy just took my Death Star from me. Vader's like, bitch, don't choke on your ambition. Right? Get the fuck out of here. Say more,
He
Daddy,
made
more.
Vader Italian.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck
I'm
out of
gonna
here.
choke your ass. Get out of here.
You need so you're lacking a bitch.
We own Philly. Get out of here.
Fanculo. I'm a choke on your ass.
That's how the force are for your ass.
Hey, force of this.
You're gonna be
Shit.
sleeping with the fishes.
Damn. Okay. So here's Forrest Whitaker's character.
Sal Guerrero, whatever.
What do you think? He appeared.
I almost feel like
if you guys watch Rebels, I think he's in.
He was in
Rebels.
Clone Wars first.
He's in Clone Wars
first.
He also was in Rebels.
He was in Rebels, yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think of his portrayal?
This is the first time he didn't get Forrest Whitaker eye on me, bro.
Yeah,
I was like,
He actually did.
He did win. I gotta rewatch it now.
As the Earth was coming up, he was like,
he couldn't contain that eye, bro. He let it go.
He let it go. He was
I
like,
wonder how many takes they took. They're like, just fuck it.
Keep it open.
I know. It was just like, hey, we're just gonna put some tape right there.
Fucking eye, bro.
Some practical special effects.
He's like, I almost got it.
Do it.
I almost got it.
His voice was so throwing off.
His voice was pretty. He didn't sound like Forrest Whitaker. He did a good job with
he,
his voice.
He did not sound like him.
Some people don't like his voice. I thought it was okay. I don't want to be reminded as Forrest Whitaker.
Personally,
you know
I want to know the story about that squid that sucks him off. You know what I mean?
Sucks him off.
Yeah, he's like, hey, watch out. He's going to take care of your head. You know what I mean? He's going to give you a rim job, bro. Watch it. You're going to love it.
Poor Diego Luna.
He's gonna make you go.
I am not eating this.
He was kind of afterward,
That's
bro.
what I'm saying. You know what I mean? He tickled that pickle, dude.
The tentacle great.
With the robot legs. The robot legs look
That was cool.
really good, and I like how he was so defensive. Like
Yeah.
nothing got past
Right.
him. You know, he was like,
But his body
you're-
was weak as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nothing gets past that eye.
He did a good job with that eye. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
He kept it in control.
He tried.
Fucking kept that shit in lockdown
Check.
level. So far we've covered all just the good. Now, are there any things that you didn't tend to like about this?
I feel my gripe with this movie.
I'll take it from here. Everything sucked.
No, my gripe of the movie was that even though I liked the scenes of them going to war and it felt like a different Star Wars movie, it was really a Star Wars movie that you already know what happens. And it to me, it kind of wasted my time. You kind of wasted
Fuck.
a little bit. But the only thing that kept me around was the cinematic things, and I was like, you know what, this is different for Star Wars, and it's good. Like you know, like what you guys said with the Saving Private Ryan people and all that. Like you need that effect when you're going to war. It's like, especially in this galactic war. This is like Pearl Harbor on steroids, like
They so what
It
you're
is like
saying is
that.
you didn't like the movie as much because you knew the ending.
yeah.
Okay,
Like
I
I
see.
knew the results, and I'm like it almost felt pointless to fall in love with some of these characters.
Okay.
I kind of fell in love with them because of that. Because I knew they were going to be gone. I mean, as I'm watching the movie, I was forgetting that I know the ending of this story. So I know they're going to get those plans. The thing is, there was a moment when they got on Scarif where she's telling him that motivational speech when she's saying that, okay, we're going to take our chances until we run out of chances. That's when I was like, oh, shit. I don't think they're going to make it. None of them. And then when they're in that vault and K2SO dies, and he's like, "I've locked the vault. Goodbye." And there, she looks at Cassian, and it's just this look of like, it almost felt like Toy Story 3, where they're they're about to hold hands because they know they're gonna die, and so it's like, oh shit, they're gonna die, dude. In that vault, they're not gonna make it.
The realization for me that this is real, that they're all going to die, was when the droid died.
Yeah.
That to me,
I didn't think he would die. First of all, I thought he was gonna
yeah.
make it out of anybody else.
And it was so sad. Well, I found it to be sad a little bit because he's getting shot, he's dying, but at the same time he's still guiding them
Right.
on getting the drive and still locking them in. He's
Giving them time.
He's saving them till the bitter end, till
Yeah.
he can't move anymore.
Right.
I hardly have any negatives.
Actually, go ahead. Yeah.
I share some of the same sentiment that Dee explained, because we already know what happens here. Like, other than that, I would say that I don't know if I have like a whole lot of like negatives.
Your score better be high, buddy. Your score better be high, because I was expecting a whole list of shit that you didn't like.
Well, I'm not a huge like Star Wars fan. I like to watch it and everything, but like, and I know this is like supposed to be negative and everything, but like I liked it because it shows that Star Wars can make a Star Wars movie without Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially, you know what I mean? And that's good for them in terms of like telling other stories. Like, hey, we don't have to include Jedis here. You know what I mean? And that was cool in that sense. You know what I mean? Because they won't need Skywalkers. They won't need Kenobis. They don't need, you know what I mean? Or anybody else.
Although they did mention Obi-Wan.
Yes, they did.
Princess
Nice
Leia
reference,
before
yeah.
they show up. You get to see R2D2 and C3PO.
Yeah.
Bail Organa makes a
towards
cameo.
the end. Yeah, there's plenty of cameos here. That
Cornelius
are just like,
Evans, Vanza, and Ponda Baba.
I don't know who those are, but fuck it. Yeah, they were in there.
It's the two guys in the cantina. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
careful, we're
Okay.
wanted, man. It's
Yeah.
12 systems or the death sentence. And yeah.
But my real negative, I guess, is that the first half of the movie felt really slow, and it didn't gel to me like quite as
what I
it
think
should
is
have.
the-
You know what I
the
mean?
problem with that, and I don't know if you guys noticed it, but they made a different cut of the movie with those reshoots.
Did they? I mean,
if you watch the trailers, man, it seems like they were aware of the Death Star before they even got the heads up by the defector, and it was like a last minute thing. That looked like this movie was supposed to be a plan to go attack to get the plans to attack the Death Star. So it just looks like some of the cuts, just kind of the scenes, like you hear words that are kind of pieced together, like Frankenstein together. That's the only thing that it felt jarring in that sense, where I could sense
It did go through a lot of reshoots, though.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a lot of expensive
It was a
reshoots.
you know, before I watched the first time I watched New Hope, me and Leo were talking earlier about. He asked me what my favorite Star Wars movies are from best to worst, and from the original three, A New Hope was the last one on my list. I thought it was the most boring, lackluster movie out of the three. Empire Strikes Back was number one, but after watching Rogue One, it's my second on the list of all the Star Wars movies I've ever seen. So, and I like how they you know, I always make fun of New Hope's Death Star when they were like, oh, just hit this one section here and then the whole moon blows up. And I just thought that was the dumbest thing ever. Like, but now it makes sense. Now it makes sense why that weakness is there.
Jack it up the
Who
porthole.
put the weakness there?
It should
Why
have been
they
there
put it
during
there?
that movie, though. We should have been given those answers back then.
Well, I don't think that the story was supposed to be fleshed out like that, because Lucas was supposed to do, I mean, almost a completely different thing, and then he talked to Spielberg, and Spielberg gave him some ideas, and that's sort of where the movie took a little bit more shape in that sense. But it completely gives it a different point of view now that you watch A New Hope, because before it felt like the Empire was kind of having an upper hand. This seemed like there was a desperation from the Empire, like, oh shit, they just took the plans. Like, we better get those plans back before everything gets fucked up. And the rebellion was like on a hot streak, so they were ready to just fight, you know, and they were awakened by essentially that squadron that went in, the squad that went in to steal the plans, because that was just like a secret mission almost that they put together.
By the way, every single time they used the Death Star, they used it twice, and it wasn't to blow up a planet. Well,
not really. It was,
just to blow up the city.
It looked like a nuclear
two
bomb.
cities. It looked just like a nuclear bomb on steroids a little bit.
Right.
And I gotta
Spare
say,
bomb and shit.
that looked amazing.
Yeah.
It looked great.
The Earth coming up.
Yeah.
The wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I would actually like to.
Dave, you had your chance.
No.
You had your chance.
I would actually like to bring up another thing I just remembered. I feel like, even though the movie was good, I would watch it again. I would watch a director's cut of the movie just to see what they were doing prior to the reshoots. I felt like the story could have also been told in the same vein as like the Clone Wars animated series. I felt like that story could have been here instead of the movie, and in no way, shape, or form am I saying like I would
action Clone Wars.
Yeah, or like I would take this movie back. You know what I mean? Like take it back to the drawing board or whatever like that. But I just feel like it could have been told there.
I don't know.
As well.
You're talking about like this story inside the Clone Wars?
Yes.
Animated series?
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad they didn't. Because I don't know because I said so.
Well, but now it's a movie, and you get to watch it.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, our ratings time. D, 1 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 for me.
That's pretty good.
Seven
That's
and a half,
pretty good.
8.
I'm going to go personally. I love this movie so much. I love Vader. I love the main characters. I love the robot. I love the ending. I love the explanation. I love Mads Mikkelsen. There's
I love
just
Lamp.
so many little. There's a couple little things that are just. I'm just nitpicking at it. I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10 on a bad day for me, but 8.5 or 9. Leo.
I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed everything about it, even with the little things that kind of took me out for a second. I enjoyed it. So I give this movie an 8.
8?
Just an even 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were for sure going to be like 8.5.
I was at, you know what? When I first got out, I was like 10. This is my favorite Star Wars movie. But I saw it again, and then it just kind of like, okay, I know what's going to happen. It wasn't that fresh anymore. So a solid 8.
Toby.
All right. You know, my
5.5?
my initial reaction coming out of the theater, I was just like, man, I felt so negative about it until I actually like sat down and thought about like all the architecture that actually went into the movie in terms of like building like storyboard wise and such like that. I actually gave it a 6, like a straight 6. And then after I thought about it, I was just like, man, you know, they did tie up a lot of like loose end like story crap that we didn't know. And Marcus brought up that point earlier when he was talking about like, hey, before when we were watching like the older Star Wars films, why would this one little opening destroy the whole damn like Death Star? You know what I mean?
For you, Stardust.
Yeah, exactly. Now we know
Stardust.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was very intentional and deliberate, and I think it's like a perfect reason, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for something to be made in,
plausible.
yeah, very, very plausible. So I'd have to, like after like rethinking it and everything, I'd have to give it a 7.5 too.
7.5.
That's one
Yeah.
of the best ratings you've
Wow.
ever given, man. That's a big compliment to you,
Wow.
Gareth Edwards.
I am impressed. 7.5. Wow. Anyways, let me know what you guys think.
Whoa, that was amazing. All right, get the fuck out of here.
Wow,
He's gonna be sleeping with the fishes.
Hey, I got your fishes right here.
Holy cannoli!
We'll get the butter.
If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you next time.
Let's go get some
Force be with
Montclairs
you.
now.
In